What up, people out there, man? Rest in peace to DMX. For those who don't know me, my name is No Face, No Case. Alright? Because obviously, this is the internet, man. When you show your face, what happens? Talking reckless, people catch cases. So we ain't doing all that, man. But shout out and rest in peace to DMX. You know what I'm saying? You know, they say drugs took him out. Some people think a vaccine took him out. But I'm not a medical examiner, so we ain't going there. But we know this much. DMX did use drugs heavily. He suffered a heart attack in the past, so his arteries and heart are already damaged. I'm not a doctor, but I worked 7 years in case management. I've worked with drug addicts. I've worked with all type of people, drug addicts, mentally ill people, terminal illness, hundreds and hundreds of mental illness. I've laid down and had therapy sessions with individuals, so I know what I'm talking about. I've had numerous hours of mental health training, counseling, trainings. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. Psychology is my thing. So this is my analysis on the death of DMX. Drugs may have damaged DMX's heart and arteries, but what really damaged DMX was a bad mother. That's right, people. DMX became a star, but it's through the pain and hardships and drug use that he spilled out this pain and became the artist that he became. But the drug use, the trauma, the repetitive relapsing was caused by a bad mother. I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not chasing clout because this is a hot topic or blaming anything on mothers. But the fact is simple. You don't believe me? Go watch DMX documentary. Today, as we speak, BET on YouTube is showing many videos over and over about DMX. There's also one documentary with Rough Riders. And in that documentary, you see DMX speaking about how his mother treated him bad, never showed him any love. They even had to pause an interview where he started crying, remembering that memory. I'm sure most of you have heard of post traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is what they call it, post traumatic stress disorder. Post meaning after something. Traumatic is something horrible. Could be a death, could be being assaulted, could be witnessing a death, could be being treated bad. And this creates a disorder, dysfunction in a person mentally as well as physically, which exasperates and spills out into their life. Now, if DMX didn't have people chasing around, he didn't have a great talent to rap and cultivated it through his hard times of living in the shelter and projects and Yonkers, he would have just been another guy in the street going in and out of jail. But yes, through hardships, he transferred all of his hardships to music and he became a great star. But it never took away the pain, the trauma, the lack of love from his mother. Even with the love of his grandmother, he still desired the love of his mother. He had got married. His wife still couldn't provide that love like his mother. He tried to use drugs, but the crack and the cocaine couldn't fulfill the love that he needed from his mother. He went on a stage and yelled and rapped and screamed and gave everybody love, showed much love, but it couldn't fill the pain that he missed and the love that he needed from his mother. Who knows who his mother is? Maybe she's no longer living. But the question remains, if his mother gave him love, would he have passed away today? Would he have picked up a crack pipe? In the interview, he speaks on his friend giving him crack. But there's a thing when it comes to drugs. Many people use drugs. Some people get addicted, some people don't. It's all about the wiring of your brain. There's something called a neurotransmitter that fires, something called recall, as I call it, that it creates the high to repeat, repeat. But certain people continue. Why do certain people continue to use drugs? It's because of the trauma. It's a soother. It sedates them. It takes away the pain of the trauma that they experience. All the mistakes that a person makes through the lack of development. Because you see, everything is about development. When anytime there's how would you say, a rest, delay, gap, unfulfillment, when a person is a child in the development, what's going to happen is that that child is going to have a lack of a lot of things. Number one, they're going to have a lack of affection. When they fell on their knee, there was no one there to patch it. Their mother always usually would come, and you fall on the floor, she'll kiss your cut wound. You go through hard times, you play baseball, volleyball, little league, you strike out too many times. Your mother's there to soothe and say it's going to be okay. But when you don't have that, what do? DMX said that his mother took him to a shelter, like a group home, and just left him there. How many mothers do you know could just walk away? Now, obviously, we're going over what he said, but he cried in the interview on BET. He cried when he spoke about that moment. That's a traumatic moment. I am sure many times in his life he reflected back on that moment, and which caused him to relapse. People relapse because they still haven't got over the trauma that they've experienced, which caused them to use the drug. Now, I'm not saying everybody that uses drugs has experienced trauma, but a high percentage, and this is peer reviewed, this is not made up, this is actually studied information you can research on the internet or any scholastic or college database. It will tell you that when a person experiences trauma, so a high percentage of them will lead to disorders, whether mentally or physically, or that show out in real life. It's not a mystery that people in poverty neighborhoods, which I'm from because I was born in the Bronx, people who live in poverty experience way more trauma than most people. But somebody, and I don't care whether their background is, whether they're rich, poor, tall, black, light skinned, straight, gay, I don't care if they're a werewolf. If they did not get love when they were a child, it's a high chance that they're going to have dysfunction in their life. So I plead with you, parents, please take care of your kids. It doesn't fall back on anything, it also falls back on society. We need productive individuals out here. We can't have everybody out here reckless. A good mother, we still have DMX. I believe if DMX had a good mother, he still would have probably been a rapper. Still would have probably been a better rapper if he received the love as a child. So we gotta do better, people, man. We got to do better. This is my first video. Remember, this is no face, no case. I'm not disclosing my identity, but this is the information that you need, because the internet is not a nice place, and it's best to conceal my identity, but let the message flow through the internet. My name is No Face, No Case. Good night.